Hello everyone, and welcome to this new video series on learning Objective-C, and we'll be using this Objective-C language to mostly develop our iPhone or iOS applications. So basically, Objective-C is nothing more than a superset language, a programming language that has been derived from the very program C. So basically it's quite different than the programming language C, but it has its similarities. So if you're a programmer who's coming from a background with some knowledge about C programming, then it will get easier for you. But if you're not a programmer, if it's a starting point for you, if it's just a starting point where you start learning about a new language and you haven't learned anything about any programming languages before, then it will get easier when you start learning, because basically all of the programming languages that we use today, although they are specifically designed to work in a specific fashion, in a particular fashion for some specific application, like PHP is used for developing web applications, while we use C# programming language to develop Windows Phone applications or even Windows desktop applications. We can also use C# or VB script to develop our ASP.NET websites. So basically, these programming languages, the diversity of programming languages, are actually more of particular in use. So we're going to use Objective-C to develop our iPhone applications. So you can actually develop using Objective-C or using the Cocoa framework for Apple. Now I'm here on a MacBook Pro, and you will need to have what is called the Xcode. This Xcode is bundled up with iPhone SDK, which we will need to develop our applications. Now it also comes up with another thing that we know as a simulator. So what is a simulator? Basically, a simulator is nothing more than a phone inside your computer. So this phone actually works like your real phone or a real iPhone, but because we won't be using a real iPhone at the moment, we'll be using a simulator to test our applications or to test our codes. So basically, we'll start off with simple code conventions. We'll start off with variables, then we'll move on to functions, learning about functions, then slowly we'll move on to looping and conditional statements. So basically, when we talk about conditional statements, we'll actually give a path on how to react to our events. So that's going to be a more advanced topic, but we'll start from a beginner level. So to start from a beginner level, you need to get this Xcode that comes bundled up with a simulator, a compiler, and obviously it will have an editor to start editing our code, like creating iPhone, iPad, or a Mac application. So you can also have this in, you can actually download it from other sources, but it's actually free and it comes up from your App Store in your, you actually have this application called App Store on your Mac. So if you just load it up and you log inside it, you need to log in to get or install any of them. So basically, when you get inside this App Store, when you sign in, and it's going to show up your name, like here it's showing my name, Welcome Nafis, and when you get inside this App Store, just write Xcode. So this Xcode software or this application or this app is quite big. It will require 2.49 GB of your space. So the current version of this Xcode, I guess, let me have a check. This current version is 6.1.1. So this has got a free license, so you don't need to think about purchasing it. So when we go on, I think my internet connection is quite slow, so I'll just show you how to get to this page, and you can start easily downloading it. But remember that you need to have an Apple ID and you need to be registered with Apple Store. So when you get registered with the Apple Store, Apple will freely open up sorry for that, Apple will freely open up your iCloud or your applications, and it will show this name, so you can get all your software. You can purchase software, I mean the applications, on MacBook or in your iPhone. So basically we were talking about iPhone and using a simulator. So when we use a simulator, it actually saves us from using a real iPhone. So when you want to use a real iPhone, you need to get registered as a developer in Apple. So to get registered as a developer in Apple, you need to pay a license fee. So I guess that license fee is $99, and you can get that license fee for $99, and you can actually sell your app in this app store, but you need to submit that app inside Apple's App Store, and the sorry for that. So this app, when you submit it inside the you need to get reviewed for that app. So your app will be viewed, your app will be checked, and Apple is actually quite not accepting novelty applications these days. So you need to be very specific. Your app needs to be useful, and it needs to mean something to your users. You just can't create an useless app and you send it to the Apple guys and you expect them to be selling it on your app store. So basically, apart from all those simulation and iPhone, you get this inside this app store. This is a free developer tool, and when you get here, because I've already installed it, so it's showing install, but when you get here, you get something like get. So when you click on that get, it's going to show you are you gonna install it. So if you install it, it's just gonna come up on your dock. You can keep it actually on your dock so that it's easier to open. So basically, after you have installed it, we can go on and actually create our first Xcode project. So we are mostly interested in creating an iOS application. So this iOS application is basically rendered towards an iPhone. I hope you know that, and I guess many of you have an iPhone. And if you have an iPhone, that's quite okay, and it gets easier to get registered as an Apple developer. So in here, for the application, for the iOS category, we get 3 subcategories. For the first one is the application, the third one is the framework and the library, and the second one, sorry, is the framework and the library, and the third one is the other, or the empty. If you want to create an empty template file, you can go on and create that here. So the second category is about OS X. You can create this for your MacBook applications. So we are not interested in that kind of applications, but we are going to be creating our applications for the iOS or the iPhone. So basically, we are more interested in creating this iOS application. So it has got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sort of criteria to create your templates, your application. So if you're interested in creating a game, then you can choose this game template for your application. But we're not going to go to that far right now.